No, I'm telling you. You see this and you witness this, and a lot of those players won't even make the NFL, especially when you look in the second half, third or fourth quarter. So they're just competing, trying to impress the coaches. But if we keep our starters healthy, I'm telling you, we're in the hunt. Now, I'm not saying it'd be a drastic drop-off, but it's a big drop-off when you have certain players, if they're out and who we plugging and playing, not so fast. It would hinder the team. But a lot of NFL teams, that might be the case. Do you think, just watching, you watch NFL quarterbacks, and look where he was drafted compared to Ian Book. Do you think, I think Aaron Rodgers could play as long as he wants. You think Jordan Love's going to take his job? I think Jordan Love has potential, but he can't sniff Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I'm just telling you, how you see different things and how they want to go with young guys and all what's going to happen. So with that being said, a typical preseason game. And, Christian, I've always told you this is kind of a 50-50 ordeal when you play opponents, whether it's regular or preseason. Well, it's gotten worse for us. Now we've lost 80% of the time. And we've played the Packers 10 times in the preseason. We've only won 2, and we've lost
is
8.
Really, I get it, but in preseason.
But I compare all the teams.
I know.
But in the regular season, too, the Packers overall have had outnumbered, but not last season to kick off the 2021 season opener. Now that was a butt whooping, 38-3, and that's when all hands were on deck. The one thing you can bring up every game, and you brought it up, is that you have a good play and then it doesn't count because you had a penalty, or your opponent's in a ridiculous situation and the score is 3-3. And it's 3rd and 19, and you got him backed up. You cannot have a stupid penalty. And Malcolm Roach played pretty good. He was hustling. He made plays after he got chewed out by Coach Nielsen.
Yeah, roughing the passer on Jordan Love there in that situation. It can't happen. It just cannot happen.
Yeah, he had 2 good tackles. 1 tackle for loss and a nice tackle, but you cannot have that just a down and just a stupid penalty. It's automatic. First down, and then they end up, driving down and scoring, and it just can't happen. That touchdown you cannot give up because they could be punting to you, and maybe you can have the momentum. At the beginning of the game, I thought Taysom Hill, got to see Taysom Hill, nice play on the screen. That had been a 12-yard gain, but I think the interception Ian Book had, Taysom fell down.
Saw a lot of players slipping today.
Yeah, so does Dennis Allen need to take more to Sean Payton approach? What damn cleats we have on? The different size screw-ins that you put, so you're not, when you're cutting, you're not falling on your face, because we've seen that happen. But that's one reason Ian Book got the interception, because that was not a bad pass. That had been right there. Boy, I was really encouraged at the beginning. Kirk Merritt, he looked like a running back running that kickoff. When he went 58 yards and he returned, he took it 2 yards deep. So he took it out the end zone. But then at the end of the game, Ian Book throws him a nice pass down the sideline. Come on, you can't drop it. You can't drop it. That was like a bomb for Ian Book. And he put it right in Kirk Merritt's hands and ended up dropping it. And I want to say the play before that, but he was wide open and Ian didn't see him, and he took off and ran or something. But those are kind of plays, whether you Dixon or you Merritt or you you got to catch everything. You can't have drops because it's on your resume what's going to occur. Now, this is interesting, and this is very encouraging because it could come down to, so we got the win in our favor, and you kicking it 59 yards. That's NFL record-like. Yeah, because then all of a sudden Gillikin punts an 81-yard punt. Now, I wish, and he wishes too, that he'd have more inside the 5-yard line and not necessarily have any touchbacks, when you think about it. But, Christian, I'm looking at this average by Gillikin. He averaged basically 60 yards a punt, long of 81. But like I said, one inside the 20, but you want him to be able to punt that ball inside the 5-yard line, because that's what he's going to want to do, like Morstead, to get better at his game. Now, this is outstanding, Tony Jones Jr. and Merritt, as far as kick return. This would be leading, but Merritt, that 59-yard long kickoff. Tony Jones Jr., 27. Well, Merritt averages 42 yards a kick return, 26 and a half even by Tony Jones Jr. That would be like amongst the best in the NFL. You would be like in the top 3 or 4. Like, for instance, you know what the Packers averaged in kick return last year? 17 yards, which was one of the worst. So that's why you want to have that return game, and we did have that with Merritt and Tony Jones Jr. I thought Tony Jones Jr. had a nice game, but nothing, I guess, to say that I like him better than Dwayne Washington. But he did what you had to do. Here he was. He made 2 tackles in special teams, 1 unassisted and 1 assisted, because that's what Dwayne Washington, that's the kind of game he has in a real game that counts. And so you look at Tony Jones Jr. and his rush. Look, Christian, he averaged 4.8 yards a carry. We ran the ball a lot better, I'd say, compared to what we did against the Texans as far as average. And I guess Ian Book helped that out with that 7-yard average. But Abram Smith brought it down. But Ezigbo averaged 5.7 and Tony Jones Jr. 4.8. So it ended up we had 133 yards rushing, 4.9. That is winning football. Chris Olave, last week Dixon led us in yards and catches. Looking at Tony Jones Jr. had the most catches with 3. But the most yards went to Chris Olave, only 28 yards, but 2 receptions. We all know he had that touchdown. But nothing really to write home about with Ian Book and Jordan Love. Like Jordan Love was a 50% passer, and Ian Book was a little bit better than that. So they went nowhere sniffing 65, 70% total. On that long run by Danny Etling, the former LSU quarterback who's been around the league, on that bootleg for 51 yards. Sorensen, the safety, that was his responsibility. He's trying to stop him from getting a first down. He got fooled, but he has containment. And I want to say he's 8 or 9 year veteran. He has to be able to make that play, but it shows you he's playing for his football live, considering he was still in at the end of the game. Taco Charlton might be working at the taco stand, because if I look at him, considering where he was drafted for Dallas and being a first rounder, I think he's going to be described as a bust sooner than later. He's too undisciplined at time when he has contained and ended up having a sack. Quarterback hurt, a tackle for loss, but he was given many opportunities. I thought Bostic, for just barely practicing and just go out there and play. He led the team in tackles with 6. He had a pass defended. He also had a fumble recovery. And then, like I said, Malcolm Roach would have had a fine game if he didn't have that stupid penalty. But, you can't be a stupid player or be described as a stupid player that can potentially make outstanding plays, because that all can affect your team. So overall, it was kind of ho-hum, and probably one of the worst quarters I've watched in a while in preseason was that third quarter. I was like, man,
3 and out.
I'm gonna go to the dentist or something. I got this toothache right. Let me go get my tooth pulled here. So no, that was nothing to write home about. Looks like they're trying to give Callaway a chance for sure to see more you could do. Deontay Hardy is the punt returner, but they have him returning punts. I didn't want to say typical preseason. To me, it was more like a boring preseason, if that makes sense. Yeah, there was some. Then Chris Olave, I don't know what route he was running, but I guess if you score, you score. That was not a pretty route. Now, Ian Book put it the right place, but that 20-yard touchdown, that was a you-know-what poor route. That was like, what is he running? I don't know if he got kind of turned around too. But, no, it was